Kai Cenat and his friends on a stream decided to collectively bully and abuse a humanoid robot that Kai purchased for $70,000. This is not the Tesla Optimus robot. That is not on the market yet. It's some other copycat version.
I want to know what kind of robot it is.
Yeah, I'm not totally sure what brand or company made this, but it looks similar to the Optimus, just smaller in size, and it's programmed to regain its balance if you push it over, and it can walk around
but it looks
on its
sad
own.
when it gets pushed over.
X1 technology.
But like we're just programmed to see human faces and see human traits in things that are not human. So when people saw this video, they either felt bad for the robot, or they felt like this is a bad sign for the way that humans are going to treat each other after humanoid robots are widespread and on the market. That's something that we were just talking about last night.
Here we go. Let's
well.
watch the video.
It starts running away at the end.
What's that, nigga? Nigga, you a fucking robot, nigga.
Did you say the N-word?
Oh, shit.
Yes, he did.
Oh, shit. Oh, my bad, my boy. You up down there, nigga? Nigga, your mom.
Let him go. Let the robot go.
He's trying to escape.
Where your mom's at, my boy? Where your mom? Oh! What the fuck was that? Wait, he's extra heavy, right? Oh! Watch out!
Oh my gosh.
Bro, this is 70,000, bro.
Okay.
So you can see at the end of the video, it looked like the robot was trying to run out of the room and escape. I have no idea.
There is a reason why scenes of bullies in school are so powerful in TV shows and movies, right? Like, you watch those scenes and you're like, wow, that seems far-fetched.
I didn't like that.
No, neither did I. I didn't like it at all.
Do you feel bad for the robot?
I don't think that it's that I feel bad for the robot. I don't like it. Seeing people behave like that.
Yeah.
It's the behavior of Kai and his friends that I dislike. It's like, because it's a humanoid form and they're like bullying it, it's like, I'm like, why are you like, why, like, what? It makes me feel like, would you do that to an animal? Because the animal's lower than, you know, like a lower life form than you. Like, I know this isn't alive and it doesn't have feelings, but those are the same kind of arguments that people make about, like, oh, animals, it's fine to treat animals and however, back before, you know, before you actually had humane treatment, like, of animals and stuff. Like, I like the idea of eating grass-fed beef and stuff that's in actual pastures. I don't eat meat that's like from a factory farm if I can avoid it, right? Like, I get Good Ranchers meats from you know, and I avoid doing that kind of stuff, like, because I do think that, like, yes, it's natural to eat animals, but that doesn't mean that you have to support, like, factory farms, which are kind of brutal. And you know that, like, animals do have feelings, even though they're not, like, as developed as human beings. You can watch, you know, cows when they're little cows. They still play, and they like they'll play with balls, like deer. I saw a video of a deer like kicking around a ball into a goal. Like,
I remember that,
and it was like, you know, oh, cool. You know, it's like, they're granted. I'm not saying they're the same thing as humans.
A bit of imprinting, because then it jumps around, but it doesn't understand that it just scored a goal. But you in your head think,
well, but it understood. It doesn't understand the goal, but it understands that it achieved something that it was aiming to do. It doesn't get the context of a ball game. But.
We have at 20 from Pop Culture Junkie. Gee, I've always wanted to be part of a multi-level marketing scam. Do I get 10% of the super chats of all the new members that I bring in?
Link in bio.
Nice.
Yeah, we promise it.
Link in bio.
Here were some of the takes. One person said, we shouldn't confuse robots as having feelings, but I'm deeply skeptical of people who delight in having something to abuse.
Yeah.
That's what's most disturbing about the video. I personally, unlike Brett, do not feel sympathy for the robot. It's a robot. People are very confused about that and the nature of consciousness and sentience. But I think it's a big red flag that they take such delight in having something that seems human,
Yes.
which is powerless, so that they can hurt it. And I think that the prevalence of humanoid
hurt a robot,
robots, that's true. That's just the way that they perceive it, though. With the growing prevalence of humanoid robots going to market and more people having these in their homes or their workplaces, though, I feel like it's going to degrade human interaction more so than anything. It's going to, I think it is going to dehumanize real, actual people if you can interact with something that looks like a human this way.
That's really interesting because of the way that a human being interacts with an inanimate. Well, I mean, it's animated, so with a non-sentient thing, it makes the human less human.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that they went to some effort with the Tesla Optimus to make sure you can tell with your eyes it's not human, but it still has humanoid bodily form. And that seems enough for them to decide we're just going to like bully it because they had that desire in them in the first place. So that's really the problem here.
Yeah, I guess it's fair to point out that it's not about what happens to the robot. It's about the behavior of the three people who seem like it's okay to do that. Though I will say that the fact that the robot has a vaguely humanoid shape can be a powerful image, because what you see is the actual head bowed as if it's trying to not make eye contact with you. And it's impossible for humans to look at that and not see it. Obviously, we've been kind of programmed over the last 50 to 60 years with movies and TV to look at things this way. The first thing I thought of is if they had if that thing looked like C-3PO, that he'd be getting death threats, because Star Wars, like old school Star Wars fans would probably be really pissed, right? But there have been a lot of TV shows and movies that have addressed the idea of human consciousness, and certainly if you ever saw the show Dollhouse, where they can wipe a person's brain and they basically become a raw shell that you can then imprint different consciousnesses on. But when they don't have a consciousness uploaded to them, they're basically docile like children and need to be led around. That's what I think of when I think of stuff like this, is the things that can go wrong when the wrong type of people treat something that feels less than human in a specific way.
This was another viral take. Not to be dramatic, but this is a prime example of how men crave power just so they can abuse. They acquired an expensive marvel of technology, and their first instinct is to be violent to it because it has no self-defense mechanism or rights. I don't know about this take, because it seems like they're arguing for the robot to have rights.
Isn't she doing exactly the female version of exactly what those guys are doing in the male version? She's looking for social pressure or social what's the word I'm looking for? Looking to shame these guys for their behavior, which is the exact thing that a woman would do, like as opposed to the men exercising their male dominance and power. And what does a woman do?
Thank you. A woman dances. I like my suitcase.
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't like this one?
No.
We were waiting for your
Phil
verdict.
doesn't like his suitcase.
I mean,
I guess you don't like your suitcase.
I couldn't really make it out too. You don't hear it in here, and when you take your headphones off, it just sounds like an exploding speaker. It's so loud. But yeah, I just thought it was funny. Like, she is doing she's doing the female version of what she's accusing him doing the male version of. So, anyways,
the main vice that plagues women these days is misplaced compassion. That's what I've observed. It's like women placing this natural compassion and nurturing instinct they have onto something that it shouldn't have. You know, like something like a robot or someone across the globe from you.
And so I don't disagree with your take about it's not a human, it's a robot. But I think in once you mentioned, the context of it makes people less human. Maybe it is important that we treat robots with respect and with what we would consider kindness, because of what it'll do to us if we don't.
Yes, exactly. I think that if your instinct is to bully or hurt something that you perceive as a defenseless creature, there's something wrong with you. There's nothing inherently dignified about a robot, of course, but there's something undignified about your behavior in relation to the robot. And you've seen, I mean, people, have you seen car guys? They treat their cars like their most prized possession and clean it obsessively and fondle it.
Bro,
and they name their cars. People name ships, and they treat these things that we use with respect.
I haven't named my Tesla, but I've washed it more times than I've washed my Jeep.
And that's a good edifying thing for you to do, even though the car doesn't need you to do it or doesn't deserve for you to take care of it because it's inanimate, right? But it's good for humans to respect the things that belong to them, especially if it appears human-like in some way.
Yeah,
if you're going to abuse something that just appears human-like, you will treat real humans in a worse way.
That's another thing. Like, if you treat a robot like that, a $70,000 robot, mind you, treat it badly like that, then I don't imagine that you treat anything good, you treat anything well.
Yeah.
This is why I find the prospect of humanoid sex robots so horrifying. It's
well, we already have humanoid sex. Not humanoid. We already have sex robots.
But I mean, once those become more and more advanced, and once they are developed to the point where they resemble real human beings even more, and maybe when they're powered with AI, where they can speak to you and react to you, that is not going to be a good thing for the people who own them, and it's not going to be a good thing for society at large, because it's teaching human beings a certain pattern of behavior. We have another 20 from Zach Hates YouTube. Mary, you're a great addition to IRL and bring a lot to the convo. Last night, you were fully engaged and definitely kept Phil on his toes and furthered the conversation. Please consider going on more, Brett as well.
I tell her the same thing. She's like,
Thank
no, I'm
you.
just a girl.
Okay, I don't know if I said it like that.
No, she doesn't say it exactly like that. I'm making jokes at her expense, but.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.